I'm listening to some old 80s tunes upstairs, cranking them and dancing. Right now it's Mike and the Mechanics. See, listen, because he's running. It's very loud. It's like at a bar. Why not relive my youth, right? Yeah! Except for this time I have cats as my dance partners. See? I'm having fun. Yay! It's what it's all about, right? Until I can't. Because, like, you know, by the time I get through chemotherapy, I probably won't be feeling like this. So, anyway, packing her all up my stuff. So all the things I've sewn. Majority of it. See? Whole bunch of stuff in here. Dresses. And of course, in the other room are this everything that I ever tailor made, like coats and capes and things like that. So they're all going into storage for now until I decide what I want to do with them, because to me they're pretty special, especially this one, because it's the very first thing I ever made. Whoop, I'm slipping on my cape. Well, I'm sure you don't care to see that, but you see that? It's a halter dress. It's the very first thing I ever made for an adult. And I made it from my head. So I'm very proud of it. So I never ever gave it away or sold it. Because sometimes you just can't let go of certain things. And that was one thing I couldn't let go of. Because I was really proud that I did it all by myself. Came from my head. So, anyway, that's it for now. You'll see some other videos. I might get dressed up in other crap too, like Halloween costumes and stuff, because wow, Christmas costumes. I'm going through it. Oh my gosh, you know what I found? Forgot all about this. My spider dress for Halloween. We better take... Oh, the Moffats. Wow, what a mix, eh? 80s and then the Moffats. You can tell how old these CDs are. I think I taped it off the radio or something. I don't know. Anyway, my spider dress. It was like a 1960s spider dress. I saw the material at Fabricland. And I really love some of the 60s style. Sorry, I'm very, very close. I made... So I did this from out of my head too. I love the Peter Pan collar. Whoa. I love the Peter Pan... Oh, jeepers. I love the Peter Pan collar. And the big arms on it. See? There's... And then... Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to change the CD. That's like... Beautiful smile. Oh my God, can you believe I actually know the words to that song? I went and saw them years ago at TD Place, but it wasn't called TD Place, it was called Lansdowne Park. Yeah, I made Rich go to that one. He'll never admit to it. But yeah, hold on. That's just too much. Yeah, anyway, that's it for now. I'll be coming back. Bye. Hey, Sophie. Now we're listening to Breakfast Club. Madonna's first real band. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. And I'm all by myself. Well, Rich is downstairs, but wow. You gotta make your own fun, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna continue on with the whole clothes thing. Talk to you later. Now I'm gonna dance. I can't dance very well. Compared to before, I can do a couple moves, but they're usually just kind of standing, you know? That gonna get you back. Yeah, but yeah, I can't dance like I used to because of this whole freaking cancer lung thing. So that kind of sucks. But you know what? Cancer will never stop me from dancing because, you know what? Originally, it's my true love, and I will always dance, even if I have to stand still and go. never stop me from dancing. Peace out. So, oh my gosh, it's like, what's her face? God, what the hell was her name? Oh my God, I can't remember. I got a little bit of radiation brain, so my memory's a little bit funny for names and stuff. But anyway, you wouldn't think after 5 treatments, but they're pretty. So anyway, I'm going through like my stuff, like I said, and I'm really going back like a few years here, memory lane. Oh, sorry. That is like really bad for it. I'm gonna have to close that curtain. Sorry. And I'll be singing, even though I can't sing. I like to sing anyway. Oh, and my sunglasses? They're from my mom. Yeah, found them. So they were in my craft room, my sewing room. So I have a big thing right above my sewing machine. I'll show you in a minute. Anyway, you'd think I was on dope, but I'm not. I'm just like, gotta stay positive, right? And I have to do some stuff that, you know, it's really hard to face. In the face of what I've been dealt with, I gotta like kind of do stuff while I'm still pretty good, like pretty healthy. I'm not really sure about the whole chemo thing and how it'll affect me. It's scary, absolutely, because I've heard some really horrific stories about allergies to chemo and how it can really hurt you. I hate to say it, but you can code in the chair. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but it is a possibility. So, I have 1 week to get my stuff together and all that stuff. I have a meeting with the social worker tomorrow. And yeah, it's a positive video, but it's also a bit of a morbid one too, because I'm talking about everything. I've been trying to blog all this stuff in writing, but I'm having a really hard time. And I don't know why, because I really love to write and I really love to blog, but the last couple weeks has been really, really tough. I'm going to go turn the music down just a little bit, because I feel like I'm yelling. So hold on. There, that's it. Oh, this is my craft room. The sacred craft room. Anyway, I hope you can see. This is my mom. I'm looking at this upside down, so please excuse me. That's my mom when she was like 10. Right above that, these sunglasses sit. Because to me, it's like her eyes looking down on me when I sew. See? There. Like that. And of course, good old Olaf is up there. My craft room is my haven. It's got all my favorite stuff in it. And then some, you know? So, it's like, when I first went through uterine cancer and I was really crafty, I made a bracelet. I learned, oh, can you see that? I learned to make a bracelet. What I might do is actually turn the camera around when I take you for a tour of the craft room. I think we'll do that later. But, kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that, but anyway, as I was saying, going to the other room, on Tuesday we went and saw my surgeon, and hi, it's my kid, she's helping me. Yeah, she's my little helper with stuff. We were dealt a pretty big hand on Tuesday. We wanted answers and we got them. They weren't ideal. They're very less than ideal. Do you want to come up here, kid? There you go. You sit there, okay, while I talk to everybody. I'll sit right here for a minute. Oh, see? Cat. Anyway, cats in the background. Those are my kids that have passed away. Every day, unless I'm sitting on my bed. So, and of course we get poop emoji because poop is always happy. Why? Because he just had a poop and he feels so good. Anyway, just besides the point. Those are my kids. Every morning and every night before I go to bed, I wake up and I see their faces. And I know people say, oh yeah, they're cats. But to me, they were my children. And I mourn them every single day or grieve them every single day. Anyway. And I'm sorry I always say so and anyway. I have a lot going on in my head the last little while, so again, so it's almost like instead of saying I say so. I had a lot going on. I was just about to say so. I had a lot going on in my life, and so lots of stuff going on in my head. So to sort it out, I always say so anyway, because it's like a pause for me. And I'll have to probably pause this because I'm going to run out of video space, like I did last time, and it'll have to be a group video. On Tuesday, we went and met with Dr. Hopkins, my original surgeon who took my uterus out and got rid of my cancer, so we thought. She was really surprised to see me. When she saw me, she was just like, oh, God, like, why are you here, you know? And it's like, yeah, you tell me. So, or you're not kidding. Oh, I got some in my eye. She basically is, the way it looks is, I'll just say it. I got the uterine cancer, endometrial cancer, uterine cancer, same thing, in both sets of lungs. When we went and saw the radiation oncologist, she was only talking about the one tumor, the biggest tumor on the right side, which is here, the one that I've had radiated, the one where the stent was put in and taken out and that whole business. That's the biggest one. It's 3.5 centimeters. Usually, if it's not malignant, it's 2 centimeters or below. The rest of them are all very small, but there's a few of them, but they're small in both lungs. Yeah. Anywho, we didn't get a lot of answers out of the radiation technology. Oh, I keep saying technology. The radiation oncologist. I don't know why, but whatever. We got our answers from my surgeon. She shot straight from the hip because that's the way I am. I want to know, point blank, no holds barred, whatever. Good, bad, or indifferent. A lot of people don't like that, but that's who I am. I need to know exactly everything. I'm one of those people. I have bad anxiety, and most people who have anxiety are control freaks and a little bit OCD, and I am. Not a huge control freak, but I admit my faults. I do have controlling issues, and that's one of them, is that I need to know everything. That's a bit of my OCD and obsessiveness as well. So the reason I need to know everything is so that I know it's all out on the table. No, like there's nothing hidden, and I can make a plan, because that's how I deal with my anxiety, is I make a plan. And I create a goal for myself. So when it comes to this kind of thing, if there's no goal, what's the point, right? So please don't get me wrong. That's not what I mean. I'm going to have to pause it because I'm going to run out of space in a minute. So hold on. Do that and start over. So Dr. Hopkins basically had told us that it's terminal cancer, but all cancers are terminal. There's really no difference between incurable or terminal. And I mean, it's chronic. I got to still treat it like a chronic disease. When she did say all that stuff, I asked her, like, can you give me a timeline? And she's like, no, we can't. I'm like, 10 years? 5, 3, 1? And she couldn't give us a timeline, which, fair enough, they can't. They don't know. They're not God. Or whatever you believe in, but they don't hold the thing over your head. Okay, you're done, clip, and you're dead. They can't look into the future. They're not psychics. They can just best deal with what they have in front of them. She basically said, I have no choice. I'm doing chemotherapy, and very adamant about it. You do have a choice, but she didn't come out and say it, but looking back, she doesn't want me to die. And the bottom line is, if I don't get chemotherapy and they shrink these things and contain them, they'll spread into my lungs and I will suffocate to death. And I probably won't make it for another year. I probably won't make it till Christmas. It's very harsh to say that, but it's life, it's fact, it's reality, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but be in my shoes. I have to actually live. I have to hear it. I have to live it. So I've accepted that. Like I'm going for the chemotherapy because I want to live. It's going to be hell. I'm expecting the absolute worst. I am petrified of chemotherapy. I've talked to a few people, and some people do really well with it, some don't. I've talked to a lady who coded in the chair, and it's like, holy shit. So that's pretty freaking scary. So chemotherapy, within 3 to 5 minutes of it being administered, you'll have an allergic reaction. The allergic reaction will be feeling like you're having a heart attack or a stroke, but you're not. They stop it. They pump you full of Benadryl. And then once you're stable and your vitals are stable, they turn it back on and away you go. I'm going to be infused, so which means I'll be intravenous probably in one of my arms. Intravenous for 6 hours. Each time I go once every 3 weeks for the next 6 months, or 6 treatments for 6 hours at a time. So Rich is making up movies and stuff. He's going to come with me my first day, and I'm sure he'll be bored stiff. But yeah, you're allowed to bring one person with you. So I don't know if anyone... I don't know what it's going to be like, but I'll tell you later. Once it happens. I'm also going to lose my hair. Yep, I knew that was coming. Luck of the draw. You know, my whole life I've had body image issues. Right? I've never thought I was very attractive, and that I never thought I was all that smart, and blah, 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 blah. You know, women, we go through this crap, and it's so superficial. But anyway, it is what it is. But the one thing I actually really liked about myself was my hair. I finally got it to be long. Sorry about the really bad dye-looking job, but I can't dye it. What's the point? I finally got it long. Look. It's long. Long. Sorry, I'm not wearing a bra because it's ouchy. So I finally got my hair to be long. I always wanted long hair. Finally got it. Now it's going to leave me. Damn. But so be it. I will take, and you do these deals with yourself or in your head, or you just put it out there in the air hoping that the universe will hear it and things will change. You know, it's like, okay, the deal is you take my hair and you take away, and then I don't have to have cancer anymore, okay? It's really weird how you do it, but you do. You go through this roller coaster ride of all these emotions and all these things that go through your head. And anyway, okay, I'm like, just take one. This is me. Take one thing, roll with it, stop, go on a different direction, then another, you know. Sorry. Anyway, the doctor, getting back to Dr. Hopkins, I asked her point blank if I could go back to work, and she said no. I don't know what that means. Kind of read into it. Rich says don't read into it too much, you know? But I do. Oh, I'm going to stop for a minute. Got a visitor. I don't run out of storage space because I'm taking up a lot of time. Okay, anyway, Dr. Hopkins, I asked her about work. Can I go back to work? She said no. Now, Rich said don't read too much into it, right? So I'm like, okay, I won't. But does she mean you're never going back to work? Because that's what we were talking about, this whole life and death situation and the cure for cancer and pertaining to me and the whole bit. So that's when I said, you know, will I be able to go back to work? She said no. So I took it as I will not be returning to work ever. That, and it really upset me because it's like, wow, are you really, like, you're hinting to me and putting a timeline. And this is what you do. You analyze every word that's said to you. And you pick apart every single sentence. And you read between the lines, and your mind just goes berserk sometimes. And so yeah, she said no. So I was like, I automatically thought, okay, so I really am terminal. I'm going to be gone in a couple of years, because that's what I thought. To be honest, that's what I thought. I thought, okay, so I'm going to go through all this, and they're going to prolong my life for maybe 5 years. But my life is going to be over soon. Sooner than I thought, sorry. Sooner than I had thought. So she talks to me about chemotherapy, and we go through all the motions, and she basically said to me, you're doing this. And the reason why, and I felt this, I really felt it in my heart, because she's like this. Very, people think, she has a really good bedside manner, please don't get me wrong, but she knows that I like to be talked to straight, no bullshit. But she is very caring and compassionate, and she's very passionate about her work and you, the patient. And when she's like, Rich was kind of taken back when she said, there's no choice, you're doing chemotherapy, point blank. And he was like, well, wait a minute. And her thing was, and she explained it to us, is that my tumors are very small, except for that one that they're breaking down right now. And that's what radiation is doing. It's the more I'm coughing means that the more it's breaking down, which is great. And it's a pain in the ass that you're coughing all the time, but nonetheless, to me, it's like, yay, it's shrinking, it's going away. But I don't know if it is. Anyway, we'll find out in 6 weeks. So anyway, what she said to me is that the other tumors in both the lungs are very small. They're not very big at all. That's why if I leave it, they'll grow and I will suffocate to death if I don't. And I don't want to do that. That would be a horrendous death. It would be horrid. So I was like, okay. And she was like, I'm young. I'm 52. But she says I'm young, but I'm strong and I'm healthy. She said, if you take the cancer out of the picture, I'm the picture of health. I'm a little bit overweight, but not anything detrimental. I'm extremely healthy. My blood work, everything, like, it doesn't show I have cancer. It doesn't show that I'm sick. I don't look sick. I don't sound sick. I mean, I went through a bit of hell there with the whole Darth Vader breathing, but that was that was mostly from the stint they put in. As if you looked at other videos, you'll hear me. It's terrible. So she said, if you take away the cancer, I'm like in perfectly good health. So do the chemo now while I'm strong and I'm healthy, because I can fight better. And I was like, to me, I'm very logical. That's logical. That makes sense to me. Then when I'm 6 months down the road and I can't breathe and I need oxygen and I'm literally on my deathbed, and I go in and say, yeah, now I want the chemo, save my life. So, and I mean, and chemo isn't a wonder drug. Hopefully we go into remission, but like I said before, I'm terrified of it. It's poison. You're putting poison into your body, but I hate that. I want to say I don't have a choice. I do, but I don't. And the reason I don't is because I want to live, and I'm going to go through hell and back again a couple of times before I get better. And that's usually the way it is. The way I am, like the last 3 days, it's like when I found out, it was like, holy God, I had to quit work. I was forced to retire, which really broke my heart. I love my job. I love where I work. I am so passionate about what I do and where I am, more so. I might start crying, but I'm feeling stronger today. But yesterday I went in for the last time just to pack up my desk and say bye to everybody, and it was hard. Now, you complain about your job and you bitch about your boss and blah blah blah. At the end of the day, okay, I really enjoyed my job. I really enjoyed the people I work with. I work with the greatest bunch of guys you could ever imagine.
they're so respectful. And I was like, we had another girl who actually came back and is filling in for me. She was there in the summer. But for the most part, for the last 2 years, I've been the only girl with Sealy, Ottawa, doing the West Block project, putting the roof on the House of Commons. And every single one of these guys totally respected me. And we've had incidents on site that were just bananas, like I slipped on the ice and went flying down the parking lot. And one of them, Bernie, is an older gentleman, caught me, and I'm just hung on to it for dear life. And another one, some guy kind of cut me off, and one of the guys is like, "Hey, lady present," and it was just like, you don't get used to that. I mean, like, you're not used to that. And these guys were just so respectful. And when I went up on the roof, my escort's on the roof because I don't know where I'm going. I have access to the site, full access. I could go up on my own, but I don't know where I'm going. And I'm an admin person. These guys are out there doing the dirty work. Excuse me. So we went for my last tour yesterday, and it was really heartbreaking because I don't know. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had, even though it was so short term and I was only a temp. To me, it didn't feel like a temp job. It felt like, I don't know. I started right at the bottom and built the office up, and I proved to myself how smart I was and how confident I was, and a lot of things came from this job. And the fact that I worked at Parliament, like, many years ago. I got to see the bricks that the original people put in. The walls were stripped down. I got to see the things that people don't normally see. I got to see the bones of the building. And I love architecture, so that's why that's a big thing. And I love Gothic, century Gothic architecture. And that's what our Parliament is. A lot of the buildings are. And these guys, like these bricklayers and these iron workers, and they didn't have the safety that we have today. They didn't have the equipment we have today. And they did it with their hands, and they carried them up. These great big, ginormously, like, these blocks, not like cinder blocks, like ginormous slabs of cement. It's just freaking incredible. And the dormers and the copper, I got to touch it. So anyway, I could go on forever, but I have the utmost respect for the people that I worked with, because they have to go up there, and I'm deathly afraid of heights. Deathly. And these guys had to go up there without escorts. I mean, they're tied off, of course, but no escort, no nothing. And they do this every day. And they did it for 2 years in 40-degree temperature on the ground, which would make it 50-something maybe up top on that glass. They worked in like minus 55-degree weather up on that roof, and wind and rain and sleet and snow, and you name it, they worked through it. They would come in soaking wet, like soaked right to the skin, and they would still go back out. And anyway, I had a video call come in, and it hung up. Hey, Carrie. I think you did it by accident. That's okay. So, excuse me. Yeah, these guys, they're impressive. Okay. My dad was a tradesman, so I have a lot of utmost respect for these guys. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that, because I do get upset when I talk about my job, because I was forced to leave. Not by them, by cancer. And that's why I hate cancer. Another reason to hate it. Not that it kills people, but, I hate it because it robbed me. I'm not the type of person that lets something do that, but I don't have a choice. That's what I mean when it's out of your control. It is what it is, and I say that a lot. And I met a lot of people at the radiation department that actually says, it is what it is. So I think it's like a standard saying for us cancer people. Anyway, I could probably go on forever. But anyway, went and got my blood work done. I just checked it actually online. And getting back to I don't look sick. I don't feel sick. I don't sound that sick other than a bit of a cough, but you'd swear that maybe I was a smoker, which I was. But my friend Robin, she even said that, like, it's really hard to, and we have a hard time, Rich and myself. I look at myself in the mirror and I say, God, is it real? And that's what she was saying. It's like, because I look healthy, I sound healthy, I can still run the stairs. I can't run, I can't dance a whole big bunch, but I can like run up the stairs if I have to. I'm not huffing and puffing. I still have that strength in me. I don't feel horrid at all. The coughing is a bit of a pain in my ass, but and that whole stint thing for like 2 weeks, I was just like, holy God. So that's all over, but I feel great. Before, radiation, I was pretty nauseous and crap, but I think I might have picked something up from something because there's so much shit out there. But regardless of all that, I felt good. I felt strong. I felt healthy, and I still do. So that's why it's really hard, and that's why I think all the doctors are very perplexed by it, because I don't have the quote-unquote symptoms of a normal lung cancer person or a METS. They call it METS. I have lung METS because I had previous cancer and it's metastasized. So METS is a short form for metastasized. Sorry, it's such a hard word to say. So I have these lung METS, but I'm not exhibiting any of the friggin' symptoms that normal METS people or lung cancer people do. They're just very like, why? Like, what the hell? And I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. And it almost, I go into mychart.ca and I look over all my results of all my tests and stuff like that. And it's funny because you do this looking for something that maybe they missed and they got it wrong. You just do that because you just don't want this. You don't. And it's a part of acceptance. Tuesday was a huge day. It was big news for me. But I mean, I was ready to accept whatever, right? It's just unfortunate that we were led down a different path, thinking something totally different. And I think that's what was really upsetting to us. Because we kept asking questions and we kept getting the political answer and vagueness and the circle questions. And that's what I mean by political, is that they never really answer your question. They just keep going around in a circle and going around in a circle and going around in a circle. And you're just like, stop and just tell me. And it makes you angry and frustrated and you want to punch them because it's like, holy flipping crap, tell me now. So, I knew that Tuesday was my big appointment because I wasn't leaving until I had answers. And it was great because she gave me the answers right away. She just, boom. So anyway, that's that. I'm really rambling on today because, no, I am. So the last couple of days have been really, really tough. I gave myself, and people don't get this, but this is who I am. When I get really bad news, when I was unemployed there 5-6 years ago, and I would go to these interviews for these really great jobs, and I'd really want them, and then I wouldn't get the job, I would just dive to the bottom of the pits of hell and be depressed and cry and like, oh my God, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart, and you hit rock bottom. I would give myself that day, and I would sit out on my curb and smoke cigarette after cigarette, chain smoke, bawling, tears falling down my face. And but I need to do that. That's just my makeup. And I do that, I get it all out, and then boom, the next day I'm back on top of it. I'm going to get the next job. Like, fuck you, you don't like me, to hell with you. Someone will find me and like me and appreciate me. And they did. Finally. And anyway, we're not going there. So when I got my original diagnosis, 26th of April, I didn't really get a chance to deal with it because that day I got diagnosed and we got home and I was trying to tell people. I got a phone call back, rushed back to the hospital, admitted into the ER, and then admitted to the hospital, take the stint out, blah, 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 recovery, blah, 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 and then go back to work. I didn't get a chance to really accept my fate or accept my diagnosis, which was kind of a good thing. I mean, I cried and everything. I freaked out, absolutely, because I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. Like, this is it. And then it was like the research and all that bunch of dynamic. So this appointment was really about finding out the truth, and we did. So I gave myself 3 days, and I was supposed to do chemotherapy sooner, blah, 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 and anyway, that changed. So I gave myself 3 days to deal with it. And in these 3 days, what I do is I go to the bottom of the barrel, or however you want to say it. I hit rock bottom. And I go through that emotional roller coaster, and I grieve for my life. I get sad that this is happening. I grieve for my kids, my cats. I grieve for my husband because, he just lost his mom and now his wife has this horrible diagnosis and disease, same one that killed his mother, and he might lose his wife. So I go through all these emotions. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I go through all these emotions and I get angry and then I cry again and I get angry and I get chippy and I get all over. Like every emotion possible that happens. I get all happy. It's like you hit these. I feel like I'm bipolar. Highs of euphoria, and then you dip right down to the depths of despair, where, you just want to. I'm not even gonna say it, but depths of despair. And then you kind of level out, and then it happens all over again, and then okay. So this time I decided to give myself 3 days, and within those 3 days, I went totally off my healthy diet, and I'm eating cheeseburgers, fully loaded, and French fries, and gravy, and cake, and my diabetes is going, you idiot! And I'm saying, you know what, calm down, because it's only for 3 days. So I've done that for 2 days. Tonight I'm actually I'm going to have craft dinner, because I love craft dinner. Everyone hates it, I love it. I won't be able to eat it. This will probably be the last time I ever eat craft dinner, so I'm going to really enjoy it. And tomorrow I'm going to go back to pretty much almost like a vegetarian diet, and not very many carbs, because I have to prep myself. They're going to be putting me on, my medications. My chemo is going to be a carbotaxol combo. So what that is carbo whatever, and passive taxol something or other. The carbo is actually kind of the mild one, and the taxol is the one that creates all the nausea, the hair loss, the fingernails, all that, the muscles, all the bad stuff. Neuropathy in your fingers, and your fingers, hands, toes, and feet, which I'm a little concerned about, because diabetes does that as well, right? It plays with your nerves, your neuropathy. Jeez! I'm usually pretty good with these, but wow! Stumbling over them today. So anyway, that's about it. That's what I've been dealing with. So it's a lot. Absolutely, it's a lot. And a lot of people who I've talked to they're having a really hard time struggling with it. I'm hopeful. I will always be hopeful, regardless of what. Now, they said terminal, but they didn't give me a timeline. So that's where my hope comes in, and that's where you read between the lines. And excuse me. It's like I said before, either in my writings or my vlogging, I guess you could say, I'm a hard nut to crack. I'm stubborn. Oh, that's the other thing. Both her and the nurse, because they've been doing this for quite a few years. And she said, excuse me, the nurse wasn't in with us, so it was really interesting, this whole way this gone. So the doctor, she says, she looks at me and she's like, a lot of people who deny their diagnosis or their disease don't do well. People who are just like, oh my God, I'm dying, don't do well. They die sooner because they've accepted that fate. And she said, I remember you from 2 years ago. Excuse me, sorry. If you look in my blog way back on my surgery day, they had wheeled me down in this dark hallway and I was just lying there. And the nurse had come up, my nurse, and her last name was Brennan. The intern came to see me. His last name is Russo. So my sister-in-law, who's married to Rich's brother, is a Russo. My name is Brennan. My nurse's last name was Brennan. My grandmother's last name was Brennan. I was like, okay, 2 for 2. That's pretty good, eh? And then my surgeon comes up, and I don't have my glasses on. They don't give you your glasses. You're just kind of lying there blind in the dark. And she came up and she talked to me and said, I can't see your face. I don't have my glasses on. So she came up close to me like this. And I looked at her, and I have a really good friend in Montreal, Eugenie. And this woman was an older version of Eugenie. Identical. Like, looks identical to her. Like, they would be twins, except for my surgeon's a little older. So I put my hand up to her face, and I just went, oh my God, you look like my very good friend Eugenie. And I said, I'm going to be fine. Like, all these things were pointing in the right direction. So she remembered me from that. She actually remembered that, and I was like, whoa. Like, I guess certain things stick out in people's mind. And she said, you're a fighter. I know that about you. And she might have been blowing smoke up my ass. I don't know. But she said that your attitude is fantastic because I can see you're accepting what we're telling you right now. Even though it's hard and I'm crying. It's a shock, yes, of course. But she says, once you get over the hump, you're going to fight it. And that you're accepting it. You're dealing with it up front. You want to know, like, the whole business. And I was like, yeah, damn straight. Sorry, but not sorry. But cancer's not, sorry, it's not happening. I'm not unrealistic, okay? Please don't get me wrong. I'm not doing the cliche of, oh, stay positive. I really believe in that the last time I was super positive and I got through it. And I got through it with flying colors. A couple of days after my surgery, I was an absolute horrendous bitch because I couldn't get comfortable in my bed, and I had to sleep kind of sitting up, and I couldn't, and it was just, we had, like, my neighbor's, he had gone through a surgery for his knee, and he had these wedges, and thank God, because I had to put those on my bed, because I had to basically, and then one of those pillow chair things, cushions, with the arms that you watch TV on the floor with. We had one of those. And then all my pillows. And I have like 6 pillows all built me up so I could. And then I'd have to kind of cocoon myself in. And I have a body pillow and, prop myself up. And then put pillows under my head so I wouldn't get crooks in my neck. And hope to God once I actually was in bed, I didn't have to pee. Because getting out, it was horrible. So I was a horrendous bitch for about 2 days until I finally, and it gets better, and as long as I can see there's progress and it gets better, then I knew it was going to work, and I stayed positive. And I went walking, and my whole thing the first time around was to keep pushing forward and not look back. And I can't say that enough because that's almost the the thing for me anyway. And that's the way I have to look at this one, is I got to keep going forward and not look back. If you stop and you look back, it's almost like that the little demon is sitting there waiting for you to look back so it can grab you and pull you back in. And I won't let that happen. I won't. I've been depressed before in my life. It's been situational depression, thank God. But I know what it's like. When I was on prednisone last time, you almost feel depressed when you're on it. I have to go on a steroid again, and I'm prepared for that because I know what it was like on the prednisone, so I can kind of. I just hope I don't have, they call it roid rage, where you get steroid rage. I feel bad for it, so I've told him, I warned him, please don't take anything personally. And he doesn't. Oh my God, thank God for him. He's so strong, helping me with this stuff. He's definitely a rock. I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful. I have a wonderful partner who's going to look after me, because a lot of people don't get that. I mean, he loves me. No doubt in my mind, because he's had to put up with a lot of shit. So, and he doesn't like me talking about stuff, so I won't. But I love him. I'm grateful for him. I'm glad he's here. He's the best thing that could ever happen to me. I waited 30 years for him. And that's the thing that kills me. When we were walking out of the cancer, I was yelling. Not yelling, but I was like angry. And I was like, I waited 30 years for you. And we've had 22. It'll be 22 years. We just passed it. 23. Oh, shit. 23 years. Shit. Okay, 23 years. So that's good. But it's not, to me, it's not enough time. It's just not enough. There should be 20 more. But I don't think that'll happen, but 10. Yeah. It's like you find the love of your life, and it just seems like it hasn't been enough time. Anyone who's lost anybody can totally relate to that. It's just not enough time. So I don't dwell on that either, though. The time that we've had together has been fantastic, and it's going to continue. Please, I'm not talking in the past like it's over, because it's not. I do think about it, and I think, shit, what if it is over? Please, you think about it. I just hope it's not. And I keep saying I hope it's not. It sounds bad because everyone thinks I have doubt. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't speculate. I hope I don't. I hope that I live for a while. But I don't know if I will. I might not. And a lot of people can't accept that. And they find it really difficult. And I'm very upfront about it, because I have to accept it. And that's what these 3 days were about, is accepting everything that's been put on the table for me. And when you're faced with that kind of acceptance, it's really difficult. Like today, for instance, in all seriousness, I was dancing around and putting on all my clothes and costumes and being witty and stuff, because I'm a Wiccan. I love the earth, and I love the outside. I love everything about it. That's where I came from. I'm not pushing my beliefs on anybody. That's just what I believe in. It's my spiritual. I have my guardians. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today. To not make it so hard. If things don't go great, it won't make it so hard on Rich to, what do I do with all this stuff, or, what do I keep, what do I don't keep. So I'm packing up all the stuff that I've sewn, because and the stuff that I wore, that I sewed, because it's the labor of love. I love sewing. It was my Zen spot. It still is. But those are the things that I created out of my head. Some stuff's out of a pattern, but a lot of the stuff that I've created is out of my head. And I know that he will hold on to that, and he'll I don't know if he'll ever give it away, but he'll give it away to someone who's going to cherish it, And there's some stuff there too that I'd like to give to people so that they'd have a piece of me, because everything that I ever made is a piece of me. A piece of me went into it. So it's like my job and being on Parliament, being a part of history. It's a little dot. This stuff is like a little bit more than a dot, maybe a dash, a hyphen of me. And I'm just sitting here looking at the stuff, and I remember each time I sat down, like I look at each piece, and I remember sitting down and doing everything on it, every single piece. And some of the stuff isn't like tailored properly. Like some of my seams are left open on the inside because the stuff that I made for other people I tried to make it perfect and professional. My stuff, who cares? No one's ever going to see that, right? It looks good on the outside, and that was what was important. So I took shortcuts. But yeah, all the stuff there that I'm going through now is like everything I ever made it has a piece of me in it. A love. My love went into it because very passionate about my sewing because it came out of nowhere. For years and years, I could dance, and that was about it. That was about my talent. I never thought I was very smart. I didn't think that, I was beautiful, and I wasn't artistic, and a lot of stuff, It's changed now, because I spent time proving to myself that you are smart. You are pretty. You're not gorgeous. I'm not like that. I'm not conceited. But you're not ugly. I don't think anybody is ugly. I think ugly is a horrible word. And stupid is a horrible word. It's like swearing to me. I would rather say shit, fuck, ass, bitch, whatever. I know it sounds bad. Than saying ugly or stupid. To me, those are words that sting. And, so when I started sewing and it came out of nowhere, I remember the first time I ever made a little kid's outfit. And I thank Robin for this, okay? Because she knows me that I can't sit still. And I was unemployed and I was applying for jobs, and it was like basically not going anywhere. And she knew I was going stir crazy. And she's like, well, you sew. I did baby blankets and crap like that. And she's like, you can take pillowcases and make them into dresses. And she told me about them. I YouTubed it and went, holy God, I could do that. That's like super easy. And so I started making like these little pillowcase dresses. And then people were giving me fabric, and I started to make, I started making little girls' clothes. I remember making this little outfit out of this blue satin and putting like these black the glittery sashes on, and the cuffs of the shirt, and around the bottom of the skirt, and it was a two-piecer. Excuse me. And I made it, and I went downstairs, and I had it on a little hanger, and I said, George, look at this. And he goes, oh, where'd you get that? And I said, I made that. He goes, no, you didn't. I said, yeah, I made this. Like, can you believe that I made this? Like, this out of my head. No pattern, no nothing. Because at that time, I had no idea how to read a pattern. I looked at a pattern, it scared the shit right out of me. Anyway, so I'm pretty proud of myself that I did that. I could look at something, or I could conjure something up in my head. And I can't draw or anything very well back then. And I would like try and draw stuff on paper how I see it in my head, but I couldn't do it but I would try just to remind myself. And I would look at my stick person drawing, and I go, oh yeah, that's right. And I would make the stuff, like my lace and purple skirt. I just found a piece of lace at like the thrift store and went, oh, I might need that for something. I came home and I made this skirt, and then I found out that, oh, these things are in fashion. And I started out not making anything for myself. I made it to like just for little kids and stuff, and just for fun because I was bored. And that dress, the The sunflower dress was the very first dress I made as for an adult or a like a teenager, that girl, like not a little girl, like a adolescent or adult, because they'll fit a small adult. And I made it at the top from my head, and I was just like, I don't know where it came from. And I did it, and I did it professionally. And I was just like, I floored myself. Just absolutely floored myself. So anyway, that's why I'm doing this today, because I'm feeling strong. And I just kind of want to put it all together, because Rich is like going, I don't know what's what, So this way. And I actually stopped off at Value Village today because I wanted to find a scarf for when I go through chemo. So I was like, oh God, I got to make one. And yeah, I do have to make one. Damn it. I found a scarf as a template. And I've actually YouTubed it. You can make them out of t-shirts and stuff. But I actually want to make one like what my mom used to wear. Anyway, so I'm going through my clothes, and I'm gonna pack them. I found these garment bags, like these professional. I think they're like a wedding store garment bag, because they're really quite thick and stuff. And they've got like a little window and stuff. They're black though, so I don't know. I've never been married, so I don't know if wedding garment bags are black. I thought they'd be white, but anyway, doesn't matter. I have the garment bags from when I went to the estate sale, or whatever, the bankruptcy sale for what's-his-face, that Holt Couture guy here in Ottawa. Jesus, I can't remember his name. That doesn't matter. His sister does it now out of Toronto. Oh, crap, I don't know. Anyway, I still have that crap there that I bought that I never used. I'm trying to sell it. I'll probably end up by giving it away. So anyway, that's what I'm doing today, so that way it's not so hard when I don't feel so great. Or each chemotherapy treatment, I do believe I'm going to get a little bit weaker. Oh, right. I want to talk to you about chemo again. Shit. Sorry. I'm so over the map. Chemo. So what's going to happen is that I get infused for 6 hours, and I can eat and drink, and I can't drink coffee. But I can pretty much eat and drink and keep my activities like the same as normal. She said, I'll just, at between 7 and 10 days, I'll start to probably feel tired and stuff, because my blood count, my white blood cell count will go down. My white blood cell count will go down almost 0. So that means my immune system is at an all-time high to be compromised. I'll probably be vlogging about this beforehand. Just as a warning that if you're sick or whatever, don't come over and see me. Because literally you could kill me. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's very serious. If I get a cut, I could get infected. I have to be careful with the cats that they don't scratch me, because if they have bacteria on their claws, normally I could fight it. My body won't be able to fight it. And I could get like fever. As soon as I get a fever, I have to phone the hotline. And if they're not there, and whenever I have my fever, I got to go to the ER right away. So at 7 to 10 days after my initial chemo is when my white blood cell count will bottom out. Then I don't know how long it starts to rise, and it's almost like today's Friday, your white blood cell count goes down, but tomorrow's Saturday, so it comes back up. I'm going to ask them about that, because that's the way I am. I'm very literal that way. So it's like, oh, today it goes down to nothing, but tomorrow it starts to rise. And sorry, I'm putting my slipper back on. So 7 to 10 days, I bottom out, and then after, I think it's like that for 7 days, something like that. Yes, it is. It is. Sorry, for 7 days, I have to be basically kind of like quarantine. And sorry, my hair is really, it's very humid here, so it's all, who cares? It's leaving, right? So it bottoms out for 7 days, at 7 to 10 days, for 7 days, and then it starts to climb back up. And this is quite detrimental if my white blood cell count does not start to rise and come back up. It means that the radiation I had 2 years ago has damaged my bone marrow, and that's not good. they'll give me something they'll stop treatment and they'll give me something to pump it back up, and hopefully that'll work. And this is all kind of blurry to me. Rich kind of knows more about this than I do, because I was still like, oh God, I'm terminal, I'm dying, when she was talking about this. I do remember some aspects of it. It comes back to me slowly. But I think they give me something to bring it back up, and if that doesn't work, they stop chemo. So I need to have my blood cell count come back up. And like I said, I checked my blood work today, and my blood and stuff looks great, but my MPV, so my platelets, they're a little bit low, and that's because I started radiation, because I had my CBC, which is my full blood work done. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't. God, I'm usually really good about this stuff, but not right now. So anyway, I looked at the last 2 things of blood work I had done, which is like within the last month, and you can see it hasn't dropped hugely. I think it was 9.2, and I'm at 8.7. So I mean, it's not too bad. But it's still low, right? It's a flag, which kind of sucks. But my creatine, my kidney is great. My liver's not too bad. It's a little low. It's like 1 point below, and not like not 9.10, like 9.9. And you should be 10 or over. I don't know, but 10 or over. I'm at 9.9. So it's not too bad. But nonetheless, it is still a little bit low, regardless. Can't kid ourselves, the numbers don't lie. So the white blood cell count thing is an issue. And that means that my bone marrow isn't regenerating properly, I guess is the way to put it. Because that's where your blood comes from, right? Your bone marrow. So that kind of sucks. But on the other hand, I mean, off maximum size, and I think it's going to keep doing that because I think I'm running out of space. So bone marrow, I think that if it's too low, they wouldn't do the chemo. They would tell me. So I think they haven't talked to me about it yet, so I guess it's okay. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because I think I've been talking for about 45 minutes about stuff that people probably don't even really care about anymore. Oh yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Jesus. I got to wrap this up too. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll do another blog post probably tomorrow because I have to go into psychology tomorrow. Yeah. And I have the same worker I had last time, which I never got to meet her because she had an accident. Her eye popped out. So, hi kid. So yeah, I'm going to go meet her tomorrow. It was funny because I said, oh, how's your eye? And she goes, oh my God, how did you, you remember that? And it's like, well, I don't remember what CBC stands for, but I know that this woman had her eye pop out 2 years ago. Wow. So anyway, complete blood count. Holy, how easy was that? Wow. Anyway. That's it for now. If I remember anything, I'll come back, but probably not. I'm going to try and write the blog again, but I don't know why. Maybe I'm getting geared up because I won't be able to type or something. I'll be too weak to type. I don't know. And I'm just doing these things, but these things are long. And people don't want to sit and watch me talk forever. But one of the other reasons that I'm doing this is because if anyone ever wants to see me, if something happens, which we hope doesn't, but in the case that it does, I'll be on YouTube and you can always revisit me. And there will be some happy ones that I just babble on about, the growing of a flower or something stupid like that. Or just my day. Not always about cancer and not always about cancer. So anyway, excuse me. I'm going to sign off and finish doing my... Had a phone call. I'm trying to wrap this up. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, that people will be able to come back and revisit me and see me on video. And, you know, I found that when my kids had passed, yeah, it's morbid, but, you know, it is life. When my kids passed, like when Liza passed, it was heart-wrenching. And I had some video of her, and I used to go back and revisit it. And it was not very much video. I only had like pictures and stuff. And but her personality, I would see her personality in the video. And even though I would cry and my heart would break, it actually helped me, because I still got to see her live, you know, so her memory, she would still stay with me forever. So, and I've done that with all of my kids. I've always taken videos of them so that way when they're not here anymore, I can go back and see who they were, and like they're still here. And I believe in that. That's why I'm glad there's YouTube. I'm glad we can do videotapes, so that if you're lonely one day, or you need to hear my voice or see me talking, I'm here. I'll always be here. And I'll always be here too, in your heart. But that's for another time. We'll talk about that another time. Probably before my hair's gone, because I'll probably not want to do video with my hair gone. Damn. Oh, I get free wigs. Or a free used wig, so I have to make an appointment to go do that. But I just wanted to say hey, let you guys know what's going on. Sorry it's been like 45 minutes, probably an hour now. Damn. Okay, I'm going to go finish that, and then I got to get, that phone call was Rich. I got to go help him with his tires. Not put them on. I have to go meet him. Okay, bye guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for listening. Thumbs up. Fight like a girl. Gonna keep doing it right till the end. I'm gonna beat the odds. If I can beat a statistic, this is the time to do it. And I'll try. Like hell. Won't give up ever. See you later. Bye. Fight like a girl.